Hi friends, welcome to InnerDecode, where we explore the hidden codes behind the human experience. What if I told you that history hasn't just shaped nations, it's shaped your very mind? From empires that crumbled to spiritual awakenings born from relinquishing everything. Certain historical moments didn't just alter the world, they redefined how we perceive wealth, power, and the essence of self. Today we're decoding 5 pivotal moments that forever shifted human consciousness. As Mark Twain said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Let's find those rhymes. Rome, the eternal city, once the undisputed center of the known world. At its zenith, Rome's dominion stretched across most of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. An empire of unprecedented scale. Yet beneath the veneer of immense power, destructive forces were at play. Greed, rampant corruption, and stark inequality. These internal cracks weakened the mighty empire from within. Then, in 410 AD, the unthinkable occurred. The Visigoths sacked Rome. This wasn't merely the fall of a city, it was the shattering of an idea, the myth of invincible empires. For centuries, Rome symbolized ultimate authority and permanence. Its collapse plunged the world into an era of uncertainty. The fall forced humanity to drastically reevaluate the nature of centralized wealth and authority, questioning structures that once seemed eternal. This event etched a crucial lesson into our collective psyche. Power without purpose, and wealth hoarded by a few while many suffer, eventually collapses under its own weight. It's a pattern we've seen rhyme throughout history. Imagine a world where truth was dictated by monarchs and clergy, and to question it was heresy. For centuries, this was the norm. Then a wave of revolutionary thinkers emerged. Voltaire, Rousseau, Descartes. They championed reason, individual liberty, and critical thought, shattering the enforced silence of ages. The Enlightenment boldly proclaimed, "You possess the inherent right to reason, to think for yourself, to choose your own path." This was a radical departure. For the first time on a grand scale, self-worth wasn't merely inherited through lineage or status. It was something to be discovered within oneself, cultivated through intellect and experience. This era fundamentally reshaped our understanding of societal structures, governance, and individual potential. The Enlightenment redefined power, not as an external force to be blindly obeyed, but as a concept to be understood, questioned, and ultimately consented to by a thinking populace. The power of the mind became paramount. Let them eat cake. Alleged words that ignited a firestorm, symbolizing the disconnect between a ruling class and a suffering population. France in the late 1700s, a stark contrast. The aristocracy indulged in godlike luxury, while the common people faced starvation and despair. In 1789, the simmering resentment boiled over. The people of France revolted, challenging centuries of monarchical rule. The Bastille fell, and with it, the illusion of absolute power. Kings were overthrown. The cry for liberté, égalité, fraternité echoed. For a pivotal moment, the people reclaimed power, asserting their collective will. This wasn't just about shifting political landscapes or toppling statues. It was a profound psychological upheaval. The French Revolution was a dramatic demonstration that power is not inherently granted from above. It is often demanded and seized by those who awaken to their collective strength and inherent rights. It was a lesson in agency. 1 week, a handful of autumn days in 1929, that's all it took for an illusion of endless prosperity to shatter. Consider the story of a prince, born to immense wealth and privilege, who voluntarily chose to give it all up. Siddhartha Gautama was surrounded by every imaginable luxury, shielded from the harsh realities of the world. Royalty, comfort, and presumed safety. Yet he felt an unshakable sense of unease. After directly witnessing suffering, old age, and death beyond his palace walls, he was profoundly moved. He realized that material wealth and power offered no true escape from the fundamental truths of human existence. He walked away from his kingdom, his titles, his riches. Through years of ascetic practices and deep meditation, he sought a different kind of wealth. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. His core teaching was revolutionary. True wealth, true contentment is found not in accumulation, but in the absence of craving, in detachment from the ephemeral. This was perhaps the ultimate revolution, not of external kingdoms or societal structures, but of the self, a transformation of inner consciousness. Siddhartha taught that ultimate freedom and unshakable peace are not found out there in possessions or status. They are cultivated in here, within our own minds and hearts. This is why you need to understand history. From the ashes of fallen empires to the quiet awakenings of enlightened minds, history continually leaves us profound clues. These clues suggest that true wealth isn't measured in gold or assets, but in perspective, wisdom, and inner richness. They show that real power isn't about control over others, but about self-awareness and the ability to influence positively. And the self? It's not defined by what you own or the titles you hold, but by what you understand, how you grow, and the compassion you extend. These historical shifts are mirrors for our own potential for transformation. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. Remember, the past is not just a series of events, but a guide for our future. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.